You've just tuned into Legends of the Panel podcast, your bi-weekly one-stop shop for comics, TV shows, interviews, news, and more. Hosted by your infallible hosts, the Lady Archer.
I'm trying to use all my words. My magic hat.
Your magic hat?
Yeah, I brought my hat. Do you want to see it?
Is it a sorting hat too? Oh, that wasn't a magic hat, ma'am. And famously off-roading hosts Chulak and KJ the Comic Guy.
I am not going to do a Monty Python sketch.
Why not?
I'll go from doing that voice. I don't like spam.
You know what? Across the, I love spam. No, I have spam, and spam.
Are you suggesting coconuts migrate? And now, to kick things off, here's the crew from Legends of the Panel podcast. KJ the Comic Guy, the Lady Archer, and Chulak.
You know something?
No, what?
You read too many comic books.
Welcome, everyone, to another exciting episode of Legends of the Panel podcast. We've got a jam-filled jam-filled dessert pastry of a show for you.
Like a profiterole?
No, Jake Dodgers.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know. I was going with something here.
Jam
Dodgers are
filled.
filled with jam.
Oh my gosh. Anyways, welcome to the show, guys. I'm really horrible at coming up with new intro stuff, but it is what it is. Welcome to the show. We've got
Jam filled, that's what it is.
It's jam-filled. Whatever. Don't judge me. Don't you jelly shame me or jam shame me, Miss Archer.
I'll do what I want.
Children, really.
You'll do what you want. How are you, Miss Archer? How has your week been?
Oh, another day, another dollar. Air conditioning's still broken at work. Sweating. I almost passed out today. It's just one ginormous roller coaster ride. Sure, we'll say that.
Oh my goodness!
I have to ask the question: how is the temperature down there in Charlotte?
It was 65 today.
I have to say it was 65. It's been wintry. However, we are coming to a warm up this week, and it's gonna be wintry for the South. It's gonna be like in the 70s sometime this week. So that's gonna suck because anytime if it's 70 outside, it'll feel like it's 105 in a kitchen.
Yeah, absolutely. For the first time in I don't know, at the stadium, like our offices are directly above the kitchen, and we have like crazy air conditioners in our. Obviously, it's a stadium, so literally the entire air conditioning for like one wing of the stadium, and they have it separated into three, is like 2 times the size of my house. That is an air conditioner. That's what I want hooked up to my house. But anyway, in order to keep the kitchen cold because it gets so hot, our offices, no joke, run at 62 degrees. You have to wear a jacket because we're on the same AC feed, and they will not separate it out. So while everyone down in the kitchen is sweating their you-know-what's off, we're upstairs literally like little ice picks. And I'm just like, oh my God, I got to go to the kitchen. Who would have thought I have to run down to a kitchen to warm up because normally it's always the other way around. But anyway.
So I wanted to confirm it before I said it.
Okay.
The temperature here in metropolitan Toronto is 27 degrees. That means it's minus 3 degrees centigrade. Feels like minus 8.
Well, enjoy that up there. I'll be visiting that in March.
Makes it easy for me to sleep tonight.
Yeah. I have to be in like hibernation mode when I sleep. If it's slightly warm, I can't sleep. I have to freeze. That's me. But
See, whereas I'll actually open my window probably about 1.5 inches tonight because it's that kind of cold where it's like, oh, I can sleep.
yeah. We're. I mean, our nights have been getting nice and chilly where it's comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And then do what?
Chilly meaning what? The 50s?
Yeah.
I mean, our morning this morning started out in like the high 40s, and then it jumped to 65 today. So, but yeah, well, enjoy your crisp, cool weather up there, and our nice, weird January weather that we have down here because it's not normal for us to be like this.
It's true. It's not. You guys are normally floating right around 0, if I remember right. Sorry.
No, not
around
that low.
the 30s.
In the 30s. That's
Night.
yeah.
And then up around the low 50s during the day.
Yeah.
Something like
say.
that. Yeah.
It's
So-
crisp. It's nice weather. It's
Yeah.
As a Canadian, I'd be coming down there going, dude, it's t-shirt weather. Come on.
yeah.
Pretty
we're-
much.
We're not quite there yet, but yeah. So, well, we've got a little bit of a surprise for us on the show today. Hopefully, at around 8:30, we should be getting a lovely guest on the show, Mr. Ryan Little, the creator of the Lonesomes comic. He had a successful Kickstarter 1 for his first issue, worked really well, and now he's issuing book 2. And he reached out to us over Twitter, said, "Hey, I'd like to talk about this if you guys are interested." And we were like, "Absolutely, let's make this happen." So we've been talking with him for a little bit, and now we're gonna hopefully get him on the show tonight, talk about it. We had a little brief talk before we hit the record button today. So guys, we had a little brief talk about Ryan Little's project earlier today on the type of.
It was on the pre-show.
Yeah, it was on the pre-show. By the way, we've been having lovely audio glitches, so if the audio sounds a little weird and
We blame the
glitchy,
Canadian.
yeah, we're gonna blame the Canadian, the Canuck.
Always Canada.
Blame
Blame
Canada. Anyway, hopefully that has been fixed. We will see where it goes from, but so we're excited to hopefully get Ryan Little on here. His project is very interesting. That if you're similar, or if you're words are hard today. If
Just
you're
today.
just today, I know, and I'm not even drinking. That's the worst part about
My
it.
fault.
If you're familiar with things like Pokemon, and like creatures, like collectible creatures and stuff like that, his book is very similar with that. We're gonna have him talk about a little bit more in depth when he gets on the show, hopefully in the next 10-15 minutes. But his book is basically focusing around basically the feeling of loneliness, and there's a kid in the book, the comic book, where he pretty much has no friends. He plays by himself, and he kind of goes into this little world almost and finds this character that we'll have him talk about a little bit later on the show. And well, something happens in book 2 that doesn't happen in book 1 that makes it a little more interesting. But if, like I said, if you're familiar with Pokemon style life and the battle system and the TV series, basically take that, shrink it down into a book, but then add in the more complicated story that I think we're going to see in future books and issues, guys, which is what I wanted to talk about earlier on in the pre-show, because I think that's how he's going to do it. I think he's going to kind of expand it out and go more in depth into the emotional feeling of loneliness, which is the story of the comic book. So hopefully we'll have him on shortly, and we'll talk about that. But in the meantime, we were kind of talking about cons also on the pre-show.
Con.
You know what? I'm making that. I'm gonna make it. Anytime we talk about cons, I'm gonna hit a play button. Okay, I'm not gonna do it.
Wait, which one is it gonna be though? Is it gonna be from the original one?
Has to be
Or is it gonna be the not Quentin Tarantino?
Whoa.
What's his name?
Oh no, Zachary Quinto. No,
There
it's
you go, Zachary Quinto.
Quentin Tarantino. My God, that got bloody and gory quick.
Quentin Tarantino.
Oh no.
I forgot his name.
Let Quinto know that we've said this. And he feels about that.
Oh man. Well,
He'll never be on the show.
when we do meet him, which we won't, now we know. But no.
I don't know. He may show up in Toronto.
Hey, if he
That's
does,
true.
if he does,
I mean, we've got Agents of Shield showing up at this point, so
we do. Talking about this off air and cons, and we'll talk a little bit later on in the show of this if we get Mr. Little on. I really didn't understand like how crazy off the board expensive cons can be and how inexpensive they can be. I mean, I went to San Diego Comic-Con, the Comic-Con, and it was like $120 for I think a 2-day pass, and I thought that was normal, for a 2-day pass. I looked at this MegaCon, I believe is what it is in Orlando, because a listener to the show is wondering if we're going down there, and like the 1-day pass was $99.
That's crazy.
That is ridiculous. And I mean, they didn't have anything near to what San Diego Comic-Con has or what Toronto Fan Expo has. Fan Expo is a little bit less expensive, but I mean they're up there. Then again, they're completely different types of cons. There's video game cons, there's anime cons, then there's comic books, and then there's a mixture of everything. So I can understand where they can justify prices when they bring in a lot of like guest speakers. But on this MegaCon thing that I looked at, I was like, I see like only 6 big name people on this thing. I do not see why this is $99. I don't know. Well, I was on my soapbox there, a little crazy. But Lady Archer, do you still plan on wanting to go to good old Heroes Con again this year? Because I was going to buy tickets like probably the next 2 weeks.
Of course, I would love to. In fact, I was coming out of work Saturday and I forgot to mention this to you, but they had the mini con.
Yeah, last Saturday.
Yeah, I was walking to work and someone said, "Are you going to go to the mini con?" I was like, "Oh, I am now."
And I didn't get an invitation. No. I had it on one of my calendars, the big printout calendars that I have, and I marked it down for something that I would be interested in. And then I cleaned my office, and I thought that was my old calendar, and I threw it away.
Well, I think what's funny with the mini-con, they move it around. Like last year, it was in
Fall.
September.
Yeah, it was like in fall.
And so it's hard to keep track of, number one. And number two, it is a very, very small thing.
Yeah.
It was all local, which is not a bad thing. It was local artists, local writers, which was interesting, but it can be a hit or miss, you know?
Well, I mean, for those things, it's all local Charlotte. The only way that I found out about it was when we originally inquired for press for Heroes Con, and they forced me to sign up for their Heroes letter or whatever it is, and so that's how I found out about it. And then I unsubscribed because they emailed the most random things out all the time. But I haven't been to the mini-con, but I've seen a lot of pictures and write-ups and stuff like that on it. So you went. What was it like?
It was really nice. There were a lot, like I said, there were a lot of local writers and artists here in Charlotte. It was definitely more comic based. Not a lot of retail stuff, but a lot of like artwork, a lot of self-published comics. And I didn't see anything in there that really spoke to me, but there was a lot of talent. I didn't realize how many people in Charlotte do the artwork, make their own comics. That was pretty interesting. But yeah, if you are, it's more of an indie style. I would definitely say that. I didn't find any comics that I particularly have a taste for, but they were doing there were other people there that were buying I I can't talk. They were buying a lot of comics, basically. So they were it was doing a pretty good job of doing what it should have done, which is showcase local artwork, local authors, and things like that.
Well, did you pick up any books that were pretty interesting that we can possibly grab some local artists and get them on the show?
Not anything.
Oh.
Not for lack of wanting to, but
Well, I mean, it was just so spur of the moment. I mean, apparently you did this walking out of work.
I was in my chef uniform.
Was this at Heroes or was it at the convention center?
No, it was. I forgot the name of the place.
A guy in a van down by the corner of the river?
Yeah, a guy in a van down by the river. No,
Yeah, I got some comics for you. What are you after? What are you looking for?
Oh, shoot. It wasn't at the convention center. It was another place. I can't remember. Honestly, I was there for like 20 minutes. I was in my chef uniform. I was sweating. I was miserable. And I just had to I went in, I walked around really fast, and then I left. And I felt really bad about that, but I was just miserable. They did have a huge amount of cosplayers there, and I was really upset at myself for not trying to take pictures or talk to any of them. But I was hot and sweaty, and I just was like, I can't be here.
Well, I have to admit, my first con of the year is going to actually be February 18th.
Quick question. Do we have an extra person in this room? Am I just crazy and they haven't popped up on my screen yet? Because I just got an email from Ryan Little saying, I think I'm in the room.
I only see 3.
Yeah, I only see the 3 of us. So, I just sent him the link again. He's like, I think I'm in here. I really hope he didn't go to a random room or I gave him the wrong link and he's just been sitting there since 7:45.
We don't see him.
I don't
give him the Geek Culture Cast room.
Yeah.
Not,
yeah.
I don't see anybody in our chat.
Neither do
I'm all over it.
Yeah. Okay. A link has been copied. Oh my gosh. Oh man. If appear.in has just completely just gone crazy. I don't know what we're gonna do. We've gone to how many different platforms at this point in time?
Well,
7?
20?
More than we should. How's that for an answer?
Oh man. Okay, let's try this again. I'm gonna reply back to him. Hope.
So yeah, no. So the Toronto Comic-Con right now, the guest list is very limited.
There we go. All right, there we go. We are in. Did I give you the wrong link?
No. I was copy and pasting the whole thing and pioneering the new group appear.in/geekculturecast.
Okay. I was like, what did I do? So I was like, guys, stop what you're doing right now. Do we have a 4th person in this room somewhere? Do you see them floating around?
I didn't mean to stand you up earlier either. It's my bad.
Oh no, you were fine. We actually were having some tech difficulties earlier, so that's why we were like, is he hiding in this room? And we don't know. It's just a glitch. But welcome to the show, Ryan. This is Legends of the Panel podcast. We're actually going to talk with you today about your new project, the second Kickstarter for Lonesomes number 2.
Sir.
So, a brief introduction. We've got KJ, the comic guy, over here in the bottom left corner, looking down. Maybe he'll do a Canadian wave in just a second. I don't know. The Lady Archer is on the audio only right now. She likes to chill with cats.
Nice.
Actually, I'm sitting in my closet right now, so you can't hear any of the noise that happens in my apartment. So, haha.
Oh my goodness! And then of course myself, Chulak, the person that has been responding to you for the better part of long time.
Yeah.
So tell us, my man, a little bit a quick summary of your project, the story of Lonesome. I keep wanting to say loneliness, and Anyway,
It's in there.
it's
Dude, writing
it's
that Kickstarter page, I must have wrote loneliness like 100 times. It's so goofy. Lonesomes is what I call a collectible monster comic, which is my fancy way to try to make Pokemon, Digimon, Yokai Watch, all that stuff sound more highbrow and fancy. But I want to do a genre exploration. I feel like that genre has all these awesome tropes and things that are unique to itself that we kind of write off and be like, oh, that's just a Pokemon thing. So Lonesomes takes great tropes, puts it through the lens of a Western indie comic, and tells a story about a lonely kid named Tom who discovers, one particularly lonely day, a mystical creature called a Lonesome that has been drawn to his unique loneliness. And together they go on adventures to explore the world of Lonesomes as well as the feelings within Tom himself.
So what inspired you to make a comic similar to this? Because it tackles a couple things. One, it's attaching onto people that like you said, the collectible monsters thing. But then again, this is also going to tackle something that is pretty prevalent in the world today, especially in youth. Where did this come from? What made you want to write this?
Sure. I've written all sorts of things. I don't remember where all my ideas come from, but Lonesomes is one of the ones I remember the exact second it popped into my head. I was working in New York City in the production office for a Netflix show at the time. I was driving home at like 4:30 in the morning because we went to like a really late shoot. And people say like New York City is the city that never sleeps, but at like 4:30, it's pretty much empty.
Yeah.
And it's really strange. It's like I park on the street, take this long walk home. There's these huge buildings, and there's all this stuff around you, and it's just empty. And for whatever reason, probably because I was overtired, I started feeling a little lonely. I said, happiness is like this funny emotion because all sorts of things make you feel happy. But loneliness, like Simon and Garfunkel so greatly put, is like this old friend that kind of comes back to visit you. And that's where my nerd brain turned on and said, well, what if that friend's a Pokemon? So as I developed the comic, I said, thanks to superhero stuff and especially the movies, being a nerd's really in the mainstream now. Or people think being a nerd's in the mainstream, but I feel like only really heroes are. Manga and anime still have this whole shroud of like kind of nerdy, campy goofiness people can't get into. So I said, what if I take this thematic element of loneliness that really means something to me, that I want to try to find a fun, accessible way for people to talk about and combine it with this genre, which I think people kind of write off really quickly. And then Lonesomes was the product.
Great. So how did you find things like your artists and, where did you get the writing experience, all that kind of stuff?
That leads into what I was going to ask.
Well, you go, because I always do this when we do interviews.
I mean, I looked at issue 1 and 2 because you were gracious enough to provide those to us digitally.
Sure.
And I'm looking at them, and it's like, okay, I don't know, is this fully creator owned, or are you the writer and the artist and everything?
Oh, sure. No, so I'm just a writer. I'd been self-publishing comics for about 2 years. And then this was a year ago when we first started the project. And I said, I'd been doing shorts in various anthologies. And I said, I was ready to do my own full-length book. So I found all these little forums and stuff where you meet different artists and stuff like that. And I put out just a casting call. I said, it's Pokemon meets I Kill Giants, the incredible Joe Kelly graphic novel. If you haven't read it, it's really, really awesome. And I found my artist, Eder Messiah, and my colorist, Fariza Kamaputra. They were both the first guys I interviewed for the job. And they were both awesome. I think we with Eder, we went through like one round of designs trying to find it. I sent them both the script. I said, this is what it is. Could be anywhere from 1 to 100 issues. I want people that kind of want to go on this journey with me. And the awesome thing is Eder is based in Brazil. Fariza is in Indonesia. I'm from Pennsylvania, and I live in Los Angeles. So we're on 3 different continents. We may never meet each other, but because of the thematic elements, we all just found this place of empathy in our 3 vastly different life experiences, and then the book kind of made itself.
I find that so crazy because, since the internet has been around, it's really been able to bring people together. We've been lucky enough to interview people that have been all over the world that have been making books. Our friends from the Australia comic, they've got an artist from, where was it again, KJ? Where was their main artist from?
Do this, the Baltics. It's
somewhere.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And then, so they've got that going, and they're great storytellers and writers, but they needed artists. So they reached out across the globe and found another set of
Right,
artists
you all
to do
enable
that.
each other. You just
Yeah.
find people that share that creative space.
I mean,
Well,
the best.
between DeviantArt and between Reddit
yeah.
Mhm.
are two go-to places. Now, there's also, I mean, what's the one? There's another comic book only place that we were told about. I'm trying to remember who told us about it. That is like a Reddit, but it's only comic books. It's
There's
not.
a couple. There's one's called Digital Webbing that I think is kind of dying. That's still around. I used I don't even know how I found it. I think it's pronounced ZWOL, ZWOL.org. That's how I met Eder and Fariza both on that. There's a Facebook page that's connecting comic book writers and artists that has like 20,000 members.
Oh wow.
It's the internet. You can find anything.
We've said things have changed so much as to where you go to try and find this. I mean,
Right.
at one time, the comic book industry, especially the indie industry, was very small, very localized.
Right.
You're in Los Angeles, you'd be going and finding 2 or 3 guys down the road who happen to be, out of work storyboardists and out of work colorists from
Right.
studio, and it's like, hey, I got this idea for comic book, let's find some money and try and put it together, and then you go and find a backer and everything else. But nowadays with the digital process, you can find somebody in Europe that can be your inker, and you can find someone in Brazil to be a colorist, or the opposite way around, and and suddenly you've got a globally produced book that you're doing yourself, which is kind of awesome.
Well, the awesome thing too is Lonesomes is as esoteric, nerdy. It's basically Pokemon fan fiction. I'm not ashamed of that. Fine, but issue 1 from the Kickstarter, we shipped to 13 different countries, which is something I'm really proud of. So you just find your little people all over the world, and you come together, and then you breathe life into something.
Now, we've gotten to speak with tons of people that have done their books differently. Some, their first thing that they ever did was done on Kickstarter. They learned what to and what not to do from Kickstarter. And then some have just been digital only. Now they're going to move to book form. And then we even have a group of friends that we've interviewed that their end goal is to actually make this into an animated show at some point, and they wanted to build a storyboard using comic books to kind of leap that into someone and say, hey, we've got a fan base, they want this to happen. So do you plan on making this just the really long comic book run? Do you see bigger things down the road for it? And I'm asking 3 questions at the same time here.
Yeah, pile them all on.
Yeah, just pile them on, make it rain. So actually, I'm just going to go with those 2 because I just lost the third. But yeah. So what are your end goals with this? You're currently going for book 2.
Right.
You're putting it in printed form as well, and you're shipping internationally. What did you learn from your process? Is there anything that you would avoid, and things that you definitely would say, hey, do this, it's going to save you a ton of time or a ton of money?
Sure. So that was a whole mess of questions. So just going with making the book, taking it to print, and all that kind of stuff. I think the number one thing, especially kind of piggybacking off our last conversation, I was a Wednesday warrior, went to my shop, depending how big of a week it was, I'd run there as soon as I got out of school, ready to get my books. I never really knew that there was such a thriving world of self-publishing. Thanks to kind of the image boom and the Walking Dead TV show, I think creator-owned stuff is more popular, and there's a lot more people reading more than just the big 2. But I never knew about this thriving world of anthologies, of short stories made by really awesome creators from all sorts of walk of lives. So the first thing I would say to people is, if you're interested in making comics, this world is real, it's accessible. You're not, the days of having to schlep the con circuits and shackling yourself to this table trying to make it work are over. If you want to make a comic, if you love comics, want to be a part of the experience, you can 100% do it. I went the Kickstarter route personally because I've been a part of an anthology, Death Saves, Fallen Heroes of the Kitchen Table, which is about D&D characters dying. That we did really well on Kickstarter. I met some really great people who recommended it. And I also decided that I think hard copies are an important thing in the big world of digital versus print. I think there's a really cool thing happening right now where, in a way, we all own less now. Because I was that kid that had 300 DVDs on my wall growing up. Now I have 15, of my jam, my movies that are me. Mm-hmm. But if you look at that shelf, you find me in those 15 movies. What I bring into my home now says something. And I want this to be a book that people really engage with and work with, and something that they can bring into their life and they can share with people, because it is trying to make a difficult emotion palatable, but you're hiding because you're look how cool this comic is, which is you saying, this speaks to me. But you don't have to talk about it because you're just talking about the book. But as far as self-publishing goes, Kickstarter is awesome. And if you You know, like one of my favorite things is like finding all these new sites that are, you know, guys like you that make this content every week with like good mics and audio and like a real production value to it. This whole world exists and it's waiting for you. All you have to do is be that person that can get the ball rolling.
I agree. You know, we excuse me. I don't know if I'm trying to get over a cold or what, but you know, for us, we just we wanted to get together and be geeks and talk about comic books. And now, what issue are we on now, or what number are we on now? I think we're over like 54 or something just for this podcast, and we have 2 more that we do too.
Yeah, there's TV shows that don't run that long.
Yeah,
you know, they get 6 episodes and they're done. You guys are creating more content than multi-million-dollar producers in Los Angeles are.
Firefly was a great show.
Oh, oh no!
Oh, the wounds are still here.
Shots fired, KJ.
Poke that fresh wound. Yeah.
Oh man, you know who doesn't like that right now? Showing you how much a geek. He says no, sir. Mal says
man.
no, and
he's ready.
Oh my god, I can't believe you did that. Come on, man, Serenity, bro. God.
Yeah, I saw that Serenity movie when I was a kid, like really into movie making. My friends like, oh, I saw the coolest sci-fi movie. I didn't know for years that was based off anything. I thought it was kind of confusing but pretty cool. And someone's like, you know, it's like a follow-up to like all. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah. And then you watch it and you know that there's only 1 season and it's done, and you're just like, what do I do with my life?
It's a limited run comic book. Come on.
Yeah.
That's when you know that there's only going to be 12 issues of Star Wars Darth Vader. Come on.
Yeah.
But you.
It happened.
but you know, the one thing that drew me into this book, because you know we have had quite a few people approach us and say, hey, can we talk about this? You know. And for the most part, we're very open, and we love to talk to most anybody about their projects just because, one, we want to see the content, see how good it is, and then get to talk to them, be like-minded people. And then sometimes there's just stuff where you're like, no.
There's those dark corners, too. Man.
There are those dark corners. But the main thing that kind of blew my mind away was first it was the artwork. Because, you know, the first thing you do whenever you get something like this, you're going to scroll through really quick and just see, does it visually strike me? And I loved it. I thought it was really quirky. I liked it. And I was like, all right, definitely going to jump in. I'm going to read this. Read the first one. And like I said, I'm really glad that we had 1 and 2 that you sent us. Because if I just had one, I'd be like, dang, now I got to wait for the other one. So I kind of got a little bit of a jump start on it versus somebody who's just getting into it or who had to wait or is still waiting to help get this book in someone else's hands. I think it's great visually. It's perfect. The story, it definitely when I was younger, I would have picked this up and carried it. And okay, the animals are freaking cute, man. They're freaking
Dude, they're
cute.
so talented. I'm a really lucky guy. They really put everything into the book.
I mean, the little wolf, the Lonesome, is adorable. And I'm trying to remember what like book this kind of draws me to in my memory from when I was younger, like just the art. But it's definitely something that I'm definitely going to throw money at. But I'm looking at your Kickstarter right now. It is Lonesomes issue number 2. It's been going for a few days now. I mean, about a week, right? A little over a week?
Yep. Yeah, I think just a week in today.
You got 22 days to go, and you're already over 50%.
Yep. Yeah, we're moving, man. I'm really lucky. This has been the easiest one I've been a part of so far. People have really taken it. We had 5 people already sign on to create a Lonesome with me for issue number 3.
Wow.
Which I'm beyond excited for. I'm already trying to tell myself how to limit my time with that, because it's that's the point of this book, is to meet a total stranger and say, what does your loneliness look like? And engage with that with them. It'll be this fun, nerdy conversation about alligators made of fire and bison made of lava. But we're also it's also me fucking looking right at, sorry, I don't know what the word is on swearing, but I'm looking right in this person's soul. You know what I mean? It's half their creativity, and that says so much about you. And it's half, what spoke to them about the thematic element. So I'm amped. I'm on cloud 9.
So, sorry, I have to, go ahead.
Kick track is showing you trending for 249% of goal.
Uh-oh. Please.
Yeah.
He's like, yes, please. I wish I had brought Monopoly money because I would just make it rain.
Make it
But
Currently,
Why are your props always not in your hands?
currently at 64% of goal.
so this reminds me very much of one of our other friends, Miles Grab. After he got his first book published, it was a hurdle to get him there, but once he got into to put book 2 up, massively successful. I mean, probably the same numbers that we're seeing here for you. And now that kid is doing like, what is he on, like 5 projects? He actually messaged me 2 nights ago at like
4 different projects at least. If
Yeah.
not 5.
Yeah, he's a SoCal guy. I've seen his work. He does beautiful work too, by the way. If anybody hasn't seen his stuff, it's awesome.
Yeah,
I don't even know if he knows I know it's awesome. But Miles, I know it's awesome.
Well, if you know Miles, definitely show him some love. He's still bothering me late at night because he's on Pacific time. We're Eastern time, so and I swear he doesn't sleep. So
Well, that's also where we're going, dude. We gotta sleep, man.
yeah, come on, leave us alone. I got to get to work at 8, but I got to reach back out to him too. So, so what else would you like to tell the world about Lonesomes before we don't want to keep you too much longer because one, we know you're 3 hours behind, so right around now you're probably wanting to get some dinner or some food in you.
I'm actually hiding in an office at work, so this is people think I'm on just like the longest bowel movement in the world.
Oh man, well, yeah, definitely.
No, we're all good. There's like a part of me that hopes that like I disappear and is like, do you hear like Pokemon jargon coming through the windpipes or something?
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious, man. Well, what else would you like to shout out to everyone about on Lonesomes issue number 2?
I think the first and biggest thing is if you're frustrated with, you feel like movies all look the same or there's no original ideas left, come check out Lonesomes. Check out creator work in general because none of us are under contracts. Most of us, this isn't our livelihoods. This is something that we do because it speaks to us. It lights the fire of our souls. So we're putting 110% in all of our books, whereas people might not be doing that with random, superhero tie-ins or whatnot. The other big thing is I finish all of my comics before I launch Kickstarters. So it's not a 6 months wait to get the book or anything. As these guys all mentioned, it's done. I'm going to have it printed in Sacramento, which is about 5 hours from me, which is where I had my last 2 books printed. So I usually get them within 2 days, which means as soon as the Kickstarter is done, I get the books to people within 3 or 4 weeks.
Wow.
Which is a good turnaround time for Kickstarters. And the biggest thing is it's a sort of a Studio Ghibli version of an Amblin film. So if you like an adventure story, not an action adventure, because I think action adventure is bullshit and it's what's ruining movies right now. It's an adventure for adventure's sake with real heart about these fun collectible monsters. Yeah, man, you can find out what your loneliness looks like. So
where can we find you guys? Where can we latch on? Do you have any socials?
Yeah, you can follow me at Mr. Ryan Comics on Twitter. That's MrRyanComics. Mr. Ryan was my name when I used to teach kids. And then if you Google Lonesomes issue number 2 Kickstarter, you'll find it right there. One of the projects we love, so we pop up pretty quick. Kickstarter has been awesome to us. And it's there, and there's all kinds of stuff. There's plenty available. The first issue is available on there as well, so you can get the whole thing at once. Digitally, if you just want to get your feet wet, or hard copies if you want to go all in. My giant monster kaiju book is also on there, paired in, so you can get like 70 pages of Ryan's nerdy content if you want to check it out.
Awesome. Well, we're going to post everything on our socials as well on Geek Culture Cast Network and Legends Panel. So I know we've already sent the link out a few times for the Kickstarter. And once our website is rebuilt for like the 3rd time, we'll have a quick little review on there, and we'll do all that for you too, and share it for you. Listen, thank you so much again for stopping in and telling us a little about your project. We don't want to keep you too much longer because you're hiding in an office at work. But Miss Archer, you've been quiet over in the wings. Was there anything that you wanted to ask or say before we let him go?
No, because you a-holes keep taking my freaking questions. Every damn time we do one of these.
To be fair, you did ask me like 16 questions in a row that one time.
I know.
Yeah.
She's going through her list, just drawing lines. Well,
they do this every time. I wait patiently for a moment to ask my questions, and they're like, so, 15 questions later, hey, Lady Archer, you got any questions? No, I ain't got no questions.
We haven't talked about his shoe size yet. There's plenty of ground to tread still.
I see you're a lovely, is that like a zip-up jacket or sweater? Hoodie. Hoodie. Nice.
Thank
blue,
you.
Blue.
Not a lot of people bother asking about my wardrobe choices in comic interviews, so thank you.
I think you've definitely hit the nail. I mean, it's relaxing, but yet it's also, well put together.
Well, I'm positioned with this nice mugshot lighting, so.
I was about to say, turn to your
whole
left.
experience.
Turn to your right.
Oh my gosh.
Spread your legs.
What?
Oh
It's a
man.
full body interview, man. This is the most
I like it. Yeah, let's
man.
go.
Okay. Cut. No, just joking. Welcome to Legends of the Panel, where we don't edit crap out. We just let it go.
But I have a counter on how many curse words I can say.
Yes. We typically limit her to F-bombs, and tonight we said no F-bombs.
Oh, man, I'm sorry I did it then.
I never said no.
Well,
Three.
you know what happens if we unleash it? It doesn't stop. Have you seen the TV show Shameless?
The best is I can see both of you, and she's just this icon that has apparently locked herself in a closet, and it's just this glaring beast that you guys like kept back from me.
Well,
I mean, they do
Love the
try.
micros.
I was given a very stern talking before the show started about what I'm allowed and not allowed to say.
Too much personality is not a crime.
Just been sitting here trying to behave.
oh my gosh. Ryan, again, we don't want to keep you too much longer. Thank you.
Guys, thank you. This was super, super fun. And make sure you give me your addresses. You got hard copies coming your way.
Awesome. It might just be easier to send it to like one person because we live in the same city.
Oh, look how conscientious you are.
Yeah.
Man, come on.
Because this guy lives in Toronto, and I'll be visiting him in March, so I can just take mine. I can just like, here you go.
All right, but you heard it here. I'm sending them all to him, and I am sending him enough for all of you. So, guys, you only sent one. I don't know.
Well, again,
He's wearing that sweater. He's all cocky.
what? Oh my gosh.
He's lying to you if he doesn't get you one. FYI.
Yeah.
I'm. You know what? I'm gonna return post some weird like sweatshirt or hoodie, just to be like, cheers. Legends of the Panel wants to make sure that you're always comfy and relaxed next time you do an interview.
We have to get him a mug like we always say we're going to do for all of our guests.
Yes, the Legends of the
The
Panel.
mug's coming, man. It's in the mail.
It's in the mail.
Yeah, I'm more than happy to facilitate that lie. Absolutely.
All right, well, we are going to let you get out of here now. Thank you so much. For those of you listening, be sure to check out his Kickstarter, Lonesomes Issues #2. Then, of course, it's Mr. Ryan Comics on Twitter. And be sure to check out our Twitter at Geek Culture Cast and, of course, Legends of the Panel. And we will have all that out for you so you can get your next issue of Lonesomes #2. And #1, make sure you get both of them. Package deal. All right. Well, thanks again so much, Ryan. And we will see you hopefully in the near future at maybe a local Comic-Con. Who knows?
I'll be around. #3 is probably rolling out around March or April. We'll talk.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Keep us in the loop. All right, my man. Well, we are going to let you go. Adios.
Good night.
Bye.
That was a lot of fun.
Every time we have an interview.
Oh, my God.
You two loudmouths.
Hey, I asked one question. The whole thing. He took over.
That's because Chulak fired away at him like he's some, machine gunnist in World War II or something.
All right. Tell you what. We have technically 3 more interviews coming up for sure within the next 2 months.
More.
I know. They just all started.
And I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, I'm going to behave myself. I will let you ask questions. I will let you take your lead. And let me tell you what that promise lines up to be. Bullshit coming out your mouth. And that was my curse word for tonight. Yes.
Actually, what I'm going to do.
He's taking the cap off. Look out.
I'm actually just going to let you conduct the interview, and then I will sit in the back.
Liar!
No, I mean, you're going to, it is going to be the Lady Archer show. You're doing the intro. You're doing everything. I'll just hit the button. You got to be in studio, though, for this, because we got to make it sound good.
Dude.
And
what are you saying? You're saying the Lady Archer doesn't sound good?
No, I mean,
you.
No, because she can throw stuff at me and make me stop talking.
That's funny.
And this is true. You know this is
It
true.
would be this is what you would see. All of a sudden you'd see this big blur hit him like full force, and then you hear the sound of duct tape just going at it, just to get him to be quiet long enough where I could ask, "Hi, how are you doing?" before he rapidly bites through the duct tape and starts going, "Where'd you get the idea from? How'd you get the idea? Who you sold the idea to? What would you like for the idea?"
Okay, you're saying all this and you're all like animated a little more than like we normally get, and the only thing I'm thinking of, she's in a closet right now.
I am in my closet. And in my closet,
Smelly
I hope
chef
you guys
jackets.
appreciate the amount of claustrophobicism. That's not a word that's going through me right now, but it's happening.
Oh my gosh. This interview was fun though.
He's a fun guy.
Yeah,
very
yeah.
lively, very lively.
Very lively, very lively. Oh my gosh. So
snappy dresser.
Yeah, snappy
He's
dresser.
not a fun guy. He's not a mushroom.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, let's move on. We did our awesome interview with Mr. Ryan Little. And now let's move on to some other things that we were going to talk about tonight. Let's talk about...
What else we're going to talk about today? We didn't get a chance to really preview because we spent our whole time dealing with technical glitches.
This is true. We had a little bit of technical glitches, but so I have something to admit. And this is something I wanted to talk about. We're going to talk about two things. One, I definitely do want to talk about Powerless a little bit today because that comes out February 2nd, doesn't it?
Comes out tomorrow night, the first, dude.
Yeah. I've been lucky enough to actually see the first pilot episode when I was in San Diego, which was awesome. I think that I also think that they're going to add a little bit more to the pilot to spruce it up and make it better, because they always do that with pilots before they air. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's some stuff taken in or added to it and whatever. But I can tell you, I'm gonna love that frickin' TV show. That is gonna gonna be a TV show.
Although this is hilariously funny.
What'd I do?
3, 2, 1.
Oh my god! What?
So
I have to back that.
how much of Powers has changed from when we all heard the original idea to what we're gonna see?
So Powerless was supposed to be basically an insurance company dealing with collateral damage.
Yes.
So it's like, yes, Mrs. Jones, we understand your husband's no longer here. Yes, we understand that he got hit by Superman's heat vision and burst into flames. Yes, we know that the policy is worth $2 million.
So that was the initial throw idea that was blanketed to the public.
Yeah. I think the problem with it was too dark.
Well,
not on FX. It's not like that other show that's coming out.
I can definitely tell you right now that it is not a dark TV show at all. From the full length episode that I saw, you have a happy-go-lucky girl who's played by the main character, she's doing everything she possibly can to make sure that anyone that is injured by the collateral damage of these superheroes gets their dues.
That's Vanessa Hudgens is playing that part.
Yes. And then you introduce a new boss at the very beginning of the first episode, Alan Tudyk, who is just like any other insurance company and anywhere in the world. They will do absolutely anything possible to prevent a payout. So you have these two going at it, and basically, I mean, it's been so long since I've seen the pilot, but one, they throw in a lot of characters that are in the DC universe that are the small characters, like the random, not hookups, but the random appearances that you see of these small minor league characters is what I would like to call them. They show up. Well, they kind of fall into this. I think the city's called Charm City, if I remember right, that they're going that it's placed in. And they have two main characters that are in Charm City that they talk about on Powerless, but the banter's hilarious. There is actually go back, listen to the San Diego Comic-Con review episode where I talked about Powerless. I actually
Yeah,
talked.
but you didn't talk too much because you had signed a non-disclosure agreement.
I couldn't. I mean, it was great. It was phenomenal. It's going to be huge. If you could watch me right now, I'm doing the accordion. Great, phenomenal. But I think it's going to have a huge turnout, and then I think that they're going to run out of substance. That's what I'm afraid of on this TV show, because you can only do the same story in so many different ways so many times before someone kind of gets bored with it, and that's what I'm worried about. What do they do on season 2.5? You know, So,
well, do you think they'll make it past season 1?
I definitely think they'll make it past season 1.
Where did that just come from? I was getting a huge amount of echo all of a sudden.
Yeah, I have echo back.
I don't have echo right now. Anyway, I think it's just you guys. It's not coming through my end. I mean, my Mr. Loki just went around in the corner and shook.
Yeah, you sound fine. Okay, well now it's back. It's not as bad, but I can definitely hear myself.
Well, let me just turn this down again, maybe.
There's a time lag, and it's not my end this time because I muted myself for that last bound.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe it is me.
Why internet?
You've got that monitor speaker on in the studio. That's the problem.
No, it's off. Lights are off. It's
yeah,
all
sure.
Anyway, but so there's that. The other thing I wanted to talk briefly about today, and something I wanted to admit to, and I know you guys are gonna ream me for it.
I already know you wet the bed.
My name is Chulak, and I haven't.
You
been
weren't
to the
supposed to
comic
tell
shop.
anyone about that. It was a one-time thing. I'm joking.
My name is Mr. Chulak, and I have not been to the comic book shop in 20 years.
It hasn't been 20 years.
It's been 20 months.
No, it hasn't been that long. Because I got the Flash.
It's been a while, hasn't it?
It was last week. What the heroes aren't hard to find. Anyway, we have about 8 minutes left in the show, so we're gonna wrap this up with what I'm about to drop, and I know I'm gonna get reamed for it, but the only reason why I am doing it is because I want the ending to happen the way that I talked about it at the very beginning on the show many years ago when it first came out, and because I don't know.
All right, spit it out.
Just enough already.
I've decided to begin rewatching and trying to go through Gotham. I know.
What?
I know.
Shoot yourself in the face.
I know, but
You do it to punish yourself for some reason. I mean, end of football season. Is this why you're doing this?
So the roommate and he watches it, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna try and get back into it, because typically, like, that's like the geek thing that we do is like we chill out and we're like, all right, let's watch Flash, let's watch Arrow, let's watch Legends of Tomorrow, whatever. That's what we try and do. But he watches Gotham, and he's like, well, maybe, if you're interested, you can get caught back up on it. It's not that far. And I'm like, no, because it just gets me so angry every time I watch it, because I don't know what's going on with the storyline, the timeline. This shouldn't even be here. This is, Jim Gordon's wife / now it's his love. I don't know. So I just took everything that was in my mind, ground it up, and threw it away, and then took my heart and put it in a box, and then put that in the freezer on everything that goes on. And, when you do that, you don't care. And it sounds
like you had to give yourself a lobotomy to enjoy the show, which I ain't doing.
I'd rather have a bottle in front of me than have to have a frontal lobotomy.
I mean, listen, that's pretty much where I was at. But once I literally just gave up caring about how angry I was getting with what they were doing with the characters and the characters in the DC franchise and in Batman franchise and how bad they were doing it, I was just like, whatever. I can go ahead and just understand now that there's not going to be a single thing that is close to any canon or any original storyline to do this. And
what's worse is the fact that FX, which is a Fox offshoot network, is getting Legion.
Yeah. But
It worries me that Marvel is going to Fox. But I mean, I know that the reason they're doing that is to try and reincorporate the X-Men franchise. That's what the
Yeah. I feel like this is going to be some sort of like sacrifice to get the X-Men nearer back to them, you know?
But now let's think about it this way. Netflix, we're a month away from, well, at this point, tomorrow is February 1st. So for all of you out there, tomorrow is the first day of February based on when we're recording this show. So if you're listening in the future, you already know this. But, tomorrow we've got Powerless drops on NBC. We've got FX is next week, I believe it is bringing out Legion, which is, this X-Men type stuff. Then we're only about a month away from Iron Fist. Or is it Punisher first?
Iron Fist.
And which then puts us into Defenders by June. So, I mean, we've got Defenders. We've got stuff to look forward to from Netflix. Thank you, Netflix, for bringing us the dark version of Marvel.
now I kind of want to reach
Thank
back
you
out
for being
Go ahead.
the more honest version of some of their more questionable characters. Because if you look at the past of Jessica Jones, it just kind of skims over all the crap that's ever happened to her. And now I think you get a real life version of Jessica Jones, which I've enjoyed.
I enjoyed watching the series, but I put it on pause, and I still have yet to finish it. I need to go back and finish Jessica Jones. Luke,
You're just a quitter.
No, I'm not. I finished all Luke
Although
Cage,
you
all
should've-
of Daredevil.
Mm.
Tell me I'm a quitter.
Again, we are talking about KJ over here.
Yeah, that doesn't even start at this point anymore. He just reads reviews online. That's it.
I went and saw Rogue One. Leave me alone.
Yeah, like what, last week?
No, I saw it over Christmas. So there.
Okay. Lucky it was this Christmas, not next Christmas when it comes out on like Blu-ray special edition. Hey, I watched Rogue One, guys. Really?
Well, girlfriend and I may actually go see a movie this weekend. We haven't decided what yet, but we're going for Mongolian Grill first. That's the important part.
There you go. Enjoy. Pile all that stuff in the bowls and make them grill
All
it
right.
on the. Yep.
I have a question for everybody. It's just a real quick yes or no. So, Ben Affleck will not be directing the solo Batman movie. Good thing or bad thing? Yes or no?
Yay!
KJ says yes.
Wait, you
It was
said
bad
he
enough
would.
when he directed Batman versus Superman.
Wait, you.
Ben Affleck?
Batfleck was involved in it far too deeply.
I think that the less short answer, yes, I think it's a good thing that he will not be directing it.
I say yes too, but from what I've read online, some people are getting pretty pissed, and I'm like, really? It's a good thing.
I'm worried about everything that's surrounding Justice League right now because apparently the Gal Gadot solo film for Wonder Woman is a complete, and I'm going to say this, yes, we are explicit tonight, shit show.
Yeah, see, that's what I've heard for a really long time, and then everybody was like, no, they've got their crap together, and I got excited, and now
gone back to third round editing. So
and
it's gone through the test audience twice, and twice it's failed. That tells you something right there, that they've really screwed up. I mean, at least it's not Zack Snyder. Oh!
Zack Snyder gets a bad rap every now and then.
He deserves it.
It's almost as bad as Michael Bay.
Michael Bay deserves everything.
And I'm really upset that DC is not taking better care. I mean, I know that.
Well, that's because Marvel stole all the good directors.
Well, I know if they want to get where Marvel is, they have to start, with baby steps, and they want to run. They want to catch up with Marvel. Well, you can't do that. You're just building your legacy on a pile of horseshit.
I know a lot of people are kind of humming and hawing on the previous big director that had the last biggest hit for DC, Christopher Nolan. I think that they really need to pony up and do some stupid amounts of money and just say, we're about to just scrap everything and we really need some great direction. We're not asking you to run everything on the show, but,
So
You are at least better than what everything we've fielded so far.
Here's KJ's 30-second synopsis of the difference between Marvel and DC films, because then we're going to run out of time.
Yes.
So my synopsis is this. DC films, although they've got great fundamental characters, the problem is that they are too effects-laden films.
Yeah.
A Marvel film is all about explosions. It's easy to do explosions. Pyrotechnics is fast and simple. Trying to do the advanced effects that you need to be able to do a DC film costs too much money. It takes too much time, and that's what's drawing away from the DC films. DC needs to stop with the films. They need to stay with the TV, stay with the programs that they've got going right now that are doing well for them. Refocus on Arrow because people are starting to lose where they are in the program. Refocus on Flash for next year because I'm hearing a lot of bad things about Flashpoint. We're not happy.
I'm enjoying it.
Flashpoint was too hard too soon. They should have waited to maybe the third or the fourth season. Yeah. I think jumping into it was just too fast because the thing with Flashpoint, the thing with the multiple universes, I understand that they want to do the same thing. They want to run ahead, but you can't do that. You have to walk before you run. And with something like all of the things that Flashpoint brings, it can get so complicated so fast that people are like, I don't understand. And then you try to explain it to them, and it's like explaining how to tie your shoe to a baby. They're not going to get it.
The other thing is that Legends of Tomorrow has actually failed because it has not met the demographic. The demographic, which is my daughter who's 20-something, is completely lost on that show.
Yeah,
killed off Captain Cold in the end of the first season. You got rid of Arthur Darvill as the Time Lord. Oh, wait a minute. Sorry, that's a different program. Wait a minute. It was on that program, too. Oh, yes, I know. Everything ties back to Doctor Who. Or My TARDIS. That's our other show on the network. No.
Yeah.
No. The catch is that program has done a lot of things that people don't like. And Arrow this season has been very ill received from the whole jump ahead and stuff going on there. Yes, I think you muting all of a sudden get rid of the echo. No, you've got it? You still got the echo? I'm sorry. It's just me. I'll just mute it now.
No, you're fine. The TV shows aren't struggling, but they're not doing phenomenally. Agreed. I think that the TV shows they definitely could just go ahead and cut and get rid of because it's just too much. There's too much fat on it. I think Legends of Tomorrow should be the first one gone. Arrow is struggling, but Arrow did prove itself and can rebound if they do focus back on the writing. And I think Flash it's still strong. I think there's going to be a heavy appearance by Gorilla Grodd in the later part of this season that's going to change the storyline. I think that'll give them an option, honestly, that if they want to branch out on another storyline and kind of bounce back and go somewhere else, they still have time to do it. As far as Supergirl goes, I'm going to be honest. I go sometimes 2-3 weeks without watching an episode, then I'll binge watch and get back into it. But it has not captured my attention to the point where I want to watch it every single week. So that's how I'm viewing these shows right now. I actually just repicked up Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and am enjoying that right now. There's a lot of stuff going on with that one as well. It's not so much a secret society going after a secret society of another secret society that's a secret society like it used to be.
No, it's just a secret person from a secret society of a secret society of a secret society.
Yeah. Complete difference.
Yeah. I mean, this year Ghost Rider, and then who's the other one that they've brought in just recently? That's another major name that they're about to introduce. So 2 major names, major solo acts that are coming into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which
I haven't seen the most recent episode. That's the only one.
It's supposed to be coming in. It's supposed to happen for sweeps before the Oscars.
So,
and then they're supposed to wind down real quick this year. It's not supposed to be along into the mid-May season.
Yeah.
I heard it's going to be a mid-April. It's only about 3 episodes after they come back after sweeps.
Well, I think like you said, they can trim the fat with Legends of Tomorrow, maybe even Supergirl or moving Supergirl away. I think that it personally, a show that I would be extremely interested for them bringing back and redoing, and CW picking up Constantine. You already know this. But the other thing that I would really enjoy, I haven't seen it yet, but I've been reading okay-ish reviews on it, and that's Riverdale, the Archie comic that CW has picked up. Has it?
Yeah.
No.
I don't know. I mean,
No, what they're trying to do is make Riverdale cool by adding like vampires and demons and
Wait a minute, didn't they do
sex
that
and all that
for
kind of
years?
stuff.
Isn't that a show called Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
Oh my
Well,
god.
they're basically Buffy the Vampire Slayer in Riverdale. Is basically what's going to happen.
I
I'm
haven't seen it
surprised
yet.
they're not going to make Archie the zombie that he is in the comics right now.
Well, so wait a minute. Archie will be Angel, which means that Reggie will be he's Spike, which then means that Reggie is that would be the Seth Green character as the Shaggy.
Oh my gosh! All right. Well, we're gonna wrap this lovely show up now. We're only 5 minutes over, which isn't bad. We had a great interview tonight, guys. That was a lot of fun. I like when we get to do these interviews because we get to prevent Lady Archer from talking. I'm joking.
You are so lucky. You are about 5 miles away from me right now.
Next episode, if Lady Archer, if we don't have an interview, can you do us another Origins?
Yes.
Yeah, sure. Do you have a request or lady's choice?
Lady's choice.
All right, then.
do something from the Marvel universe. I feel like we did DC for a while.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Oh, wait. No, did we do Doctor Strange last time?
If she's got something from DC, let her do a DC.
I do what I want.
Yeah, go
She's
for
got
it.
something in mind.
Catch me outside. How about that?
Oh my god, that's it. This show is over. She has been muted. Lady Archer has seriously been muted. I'm not even joking. Cash me outside. How about that? Oh my god, I'm gonna kill you. Anyway, that meme's got to go. Guys, thank you so much for listening to Legends of the Panel this week on the Geek Culture Cast Network. Be sure to send us any comments, questions, concerns, ideas, or thoughts. Legends@geekculturecastnetwork.com is our new email that we will be going on forever. However, you can still email us at legendsofthepanel@gmail.com. Be sure to follow us on Twitter @legendspanel and follow our network @geekculturecast on Twitter as well. It was a lot of fun today, guys. Miss Archer, I'm unmuting you. Don't say it.
Thanks.
And Lady Archer, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show, ma'am.
Is it? Every time, every day.
You've been told.
Mr. KJ the Comic Guy, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show, sir.
Read more comics.
And what is going on Warp My TARDIS next week?
We haven't decided yet.
We always do this. We decide like 2 days before the show. We're like, we're going to do this. So
we're going to do it's going to be another versus. We're going to do a fantasy versus a sci-fi. I just haven't decided which ones yet. I will be posting that to the Geek Culture Cast Network Twitter.
Awesome. Perfect. And like I said, we most likely will have another interview 2 weeks from today on a Legends of the Panel podcast.
The big one is it really, really, really?
It's not the big one. They're at 2 separate cons right now, and they don't know if they're going to have enough time to get on the show that early.
Dang.
But we kind of knew this, so it's okay.
No, I know, but it still is like before March.
One of them is currently in Texas, and one of them is in Arizona. So
the big one is in Texas, isn't he?
I think so. I think yeah. I think 2 of the artists are in Texas right now, or they're just now leaving Texas. But anyway, so hopefully everything goes out good for them. We'll get them on the show sooner. We're still keeping this under wraps because it is a huge secret.
It's huge.
It's huge, like Donald Trump hands huge, and and then of course we're probably gonna have Australia come back on the show. They have new information coming out for a new book.
Well, what about our friends from Kamikaze?
Kamikaze, I haven't heard from them recently.
We have to bug them.
We will have to bug them. And we will also be talking to Mr. Miles Greb with one of his other 9 projects that are currently going on right now. He's been bugging me.
That sounded negative. You got to be positive about it.
It's not a negative.
Projects, which are absolutely awesome. We want to talk about all of them.
You know what? I think he's just gonna. We should probably just physically add him into the show now and be like, "Congratulations, Miles! You now are our Kick and Kicks pick guy because you know Kickstarter so well. You have lent like 20 people to us before on who to interview and you should go talk to this person. You should go do this. So you just might as well just go ahead and join the show. Whatever." All right, guys. Well, again, thank you so much for listening to the Legends of the Panel podcast. We will see you again in 2 weeks. And just like Mr. KJ always says,
read more comics.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
She always answers.
I'm not saying bye to you. I'm saying goodbye to the people.
It's over. Go home. Sip a cup of coffee from your daily grind. It's a full-time job, not to lose your mind.
This has been a presentation of the Geek Culture Cast Network. To find out more, email us at geekculturecastnetwork@gmail.com or follow us on Twitter @geekculturecast.